Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good Memorial Day weekend. In this video I'm going to be going over what's coming up in week 1. So I'm just going to hit on a few things that I wanted to point out to you before you get started on the work this week. So if you haven't already, please go over the most recent announcement, well, the one before the one you're getting now, with the welcome message towards 1103, as there's some important information in there. And if you have, you'll see that you're gonna for homework subscribe to this Ask the Professor forum. That's something I mentioned in the previous announcement, so please make sure that you do that as well. I always suggest just looking at the overview of the week, which I'll pull up in a minute, rather than just looking at the to-do list, as I just think you get a better overview of what you're doing day by day, looking at week 1. So for Tuesday, which is our first day of the course, you want to have these things completed by the end of the day. So everything listed is going to be due by the end of the day on that day, so 11:59 p.m. So for Tuesday, you have a syllabus quiz which asks you to go through the Start Here module. I had linked to that in our previous announcement as well. This is a breakdown, this module, of your course syllabus. So it's got all the policies and everything you need to know about that. Okay. And then the next thing you want to do, very simple, is to go to the Ask Professor forum, and then you will see I'm already subscribed, but if I weren't, I would want to subscribe. Okay, so you will get a notification when somebody posts to that, so that you can see any questions that people ask about the class and how I respond to them. The next thing that you're gonna be looking at and reading is this page called the Burkean Parlor Metaphor. So something that we do, especially at the beginning of our course, is something called online parlors. So those are like online discussion forums, and it's all based on the foundation of this metaphor called the parlor metaphor. So you're going to read through that, and then finally on Tuesday you are going to do a discussion post which is called Introductions and Course Foundations. So for this discussion post, you're going to be addressing a few different things. So firstly, you're just telling us a little bit about yourself, and as you can see, you're just responding by hitting reply right here, and writing, this is an informal response, and telling us what you think about that parlor metaphor that was on the previous page. Also, you'll see that you are going to be reading the introduction to our book, Co-Intelligence: Living and Working with AI. So that you will find under the course materials. So you are looking at just the introduction, which with those page numbers right there. And that the title of the introduction is called Three Sleepless Nights. And so you're going to just talk about your reaction to it. You know, what did you find interesting or surprising, and what questions does it raise for you? And then you want to share a picture of yourself, and you want your overall response to these questions to be about 300 words. Okay, so that is it for the first day, and I'm going to go back to our module because I'm not going to go through every single assignment on this video with you, but you will see that on Wednesday you're going to respond to the introductions forum. So you will, I believe I have you responding to two of your classmates, any two. Doesn't matter if we have even coverage of people or not. Just respond to at least 2 people's posts. Then you're going to review the parlor guidelines, which gives some background information about how the parlors work in the course. And then you have your first parlor, which is a discussion post of our book, Co-Intelligence. So for this one, for every parlor, every parlor is set up in the same way, in that you will see the reading assignment there. So you'll want to go to the course materials and get to chapter 1. And so, let me go back here. Okay, so you're reading chapter 1 called Creating Alien Minds. And so we've read three Sleepless Nights already. And then we're going to go to the first chapter called Creating Alien Minds. And even though it's an ebook, oops, I guess that skips ahead. So you'll want to scroll. But the page numbers, I believe, line up correctly with the page numbers of the hard copy. So this should end, yes, on page 26. So it naturally comes to an end at the end of the chapter, and then you would click that for the next chapter, which would be later in the week. Okay, so what you're responding to is you again want to be writing a response of at least 300 words, and you're going to do any of these things. So generally I would say you're choosing between 1 and 3 of these bullet points to help you write your response. Okay, let me go back to our week here. So you have on Thursday a introduction to the rhetorical situation, which is a multi-step assignment that walks you through the ideas surrounding the rhetorical situation. And then on Friday you have another Parlor. So I wanted to give you a little time between Wednesday and Friday to start on the reading for Parlor 2. So that you have plenty of time to do that. So Parlor 2, you'll see, is set up in the same way as Parlor 1, and you are just reading the next 2 chapters. So a little bit longer of a reading assignment for this second Parlor. So that is it for that first week. Please, if you have any questions that relate to the course content, go ahead and post them under Ask the Professor. And I really look forward to getting to know you all. And you can get started on the work for Tuesday as soon as you would like. Just keep in mind that you need to manage your time so that you are turning work in by 11:59 p.m. each day. Okay, so I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and I will be in touch if you have any questions.